Okay, we're here with Chicago-based band BeneathMe on their latest set of their new second album that they're about to record. So first question is, when and how did BeneathMe form?
Oh man. Whew. All right, well, are you about to answer this? Go for it.
In a nutshell, Mikey and I and with his brother Andy over there got together back in the early part of the 2000s, right after several of our already established local bands here disbanded kind of at similar times, and we came together and decided to work in a project. And we had a singer for a little while that we did live shows with and kind of accrued a little bit of some momentum, and things didn't work out with him. And through the wonderful world of the internet, we found Mr. Franco Fiorella over here, who hails from Montreal, Canada. And it was kind of seemed like a very daunting thing to have somebody so far away.
Right.
But we worked with him a bunch of times and saw his commitment to making things happen with us, even though he wasn't from here. We had the same vision and have worked together ever since, and did not let the miles between between us affect what we were set out to do.
Okay, good. After the release of your first EP, Wish I Wouldn't Care, how was it received?
I wish I wouldn't care. Really well. We got a lot of great responses, just from even the fans at the live shows buying our record, people writing to us through our YouTube page, or even emails, which is awesome. Very awesome.
Right.
And feels good to know that the fans are actually understanding what we're talking about and feeling that connection. And that's one of the most, I think, stressful parts when you're playing live, is where that connection is going to be. And, and you can see it, and then it feels good.
What was there a first single on that album?
There's a couple of them, actually. The first single was End of Days.
Was that the video?
That was the video.
That you tell me where you recorded that. Wasn't it on a farm or?
Yeah, it was.
It
was an apple farm, actually.
Apple farm?
It was an apple farm.
We hung out with the Apaches.
That's right. This place called Oka. We did this place called Oka, Quebec.
That was in
rolled
Quebec?
a lot of tobacco cigarettes.
Okay.
We refrained from scalping because it was Saturday that day. And sorry.
Okay.
Should I have talked about that?
Franco, go ahead.
We can always edit.
Go ahead.
That's about it.
Franco set it up for us. Basically,
Okay.
he had a connection with a young, talented videographer that was interested in working with us because he was a fan of the music.
Okay.
And so we just decided to jump in the van, and we drove from Chicago all the way to Montreal, non-stop, which was a fun little adventure.
Especially at the border.
Yeah, they love guys that look like us.
Right.
It's all good for me because I met
We got to show them everything that was in our trailer.
Oh, they love that, don't they?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I was excited to
We got to show them very slowly.
Right,
very
right.
slowly. Yeah.
But anyway, it was really cool. We shot up there, and
Who was the videographer?
His name was Ben Antel,
Okay.
and he's done stuff for like Microsoft, Quebec.
Okay.
And he contacted Franco and he said, I want to do a music video, and I have this idea of get an actress that's,
Right.
a killer actress.
very
And she was talented. She was very talented.
Yeah.
She can display like 6 different emotions at once. And you asked her to. It was pretty
Okay.
It
cool.
was a very painful experience.
I bet.
The first day we were kind of like, what the hell's going on? She's doing all the acting part, and then the next day, we were up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, it was
doing
5 a.m.,
makeup. Next thing you know, it's
17 hours
9 a.m. and we're doing test shots. And then, one of our test shots actually became part of the actual video.
The actual video?
And then he was like, great. Well, now we gotta do it like 500 more times. But do it the same. Like it's the first time you're doing it. I think by lunch I was stiff from neck down.
Right.
Like, I couldn't
bet.
Yeah, it was,
one highlight for us on the record was we had the record walked into what was it, Music Choice?
Music
Yeah.
Choice,
Okay.
and also on DirecTV.
Right.
Which plays the Music Choice on there, if I understood correctly.
Two different ones. One was Comcast and one was.
Was it
DirecTV.
under the rock
Yeah.
channel or the metal
It was
channel?
under the metal channel, and I believe it was under the metal channel.
Okay.
And it stayed on there for, I think,
Yeah,
like
it's still
10
going.
weeks or even.
It's still
You were
going.
number 42.
Are you guys planning with the new release on trying to get it on XM as far as like Octane
Yeah, of
or?
course.
I want to get it
Or,
everywhere. I want people in an elevator to be.
Okay.
ELP
That's the
number 2.
rumba version.
Right. All right. Tell me a little bit about the Snake Eyes tour. I was
man.
reading a little bit about that. That was a while ago, but
It was 32 dates. Yeah, it was 30 shows in 32 days, all
Yeah.
the way from North Dakota all the way to Florida, and then back up the East Coast.
So it was all in the U.S.
It was all in the
No
U.S.
Canada
and it was
dates?
all Midwest
Okay.
down to the South.
All right. Your first album, you were a 5-piece. I know we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
What made you to decide to become a 4-piece and you essentially get rid of the, second guitarist?
I think that just throughout the course of the years, things change in everybody's lives, and we came to a turning point for a bunch of different reasons. And it just seemed like things were going to work out better as a 4-piece band.
Right.
There was no real, there was no any kind of unfavorable
Right.
fight or
Yeah.
anything.
Fallout, right.
Nobody, slept with the other guy's girlfriend or anything juicy like that.
That always ruins it, doesn't it?
I think people just.
I wouldn't know.
I think people can be serious about something at one time in their life, and then they enter a different part of their life, and they have different
Yeah.
things that are important to them.
Well,
We still
Mikey
talk.
fills in
Yeah.
perfectly, so he's a very solid,
Thank you, that's
solid
awesome.
guitar player,
Thank you.
in and out.
That's cool.
Okay, what label is backing you guys now, or are you just doing it on your own?
All right.
On our own right.
Well,
We got
right
some
now,
interests.
we definitely have a lot of politics that we got to go through and decide doing a partnership,
Right.
and that's ideal for the group, and that's all being worked out. We're trying to be very
Okay.
incognito about it and secretive,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
It does. Let's talk a little bit about the new album. Where are you recording it, and who's producing it?
All right,
And
so
who's twisting the knobs for it?
right here.
Okay.
Right here. I'm the guy that's banging my head against the wall at 2 a.m. in a very good way. But we're producing and recording it here.
Displays.
In
Illinois.
displays. But we're all having a hand in the production.
It's a self-produced record,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is kind of how we did the last one, and it's just kind of where we're at right now and what we want to do. It's the most comfortable way to get it done for
Without it, people breathing down your back.
Yeah.
Well, your first album was, the quality was awesome. I mean, it's.
Thanks.
You'd put it up against anything on XM or the radio as far as quality and songwriting ability and all that.
We
So
definitely
it sounded
took
very
our time
pro.
with it,
Sweet.
and put a lot of love into it.
Okay.
And
A lot of hard work.
How long did that take to record that?
Oh my God.
I mean, from start to finish.
Gee.
Just when you sat down and started actually rolling tape.
440 hours, I think. Right?
Probably
Yeah.
more like 3,000
The
hours.
thing is that we had so many versions of the song.
That was the hardest part.
5, 6
Is
versions.
trying to decide on the
So we-
arrangements.
Okay.
We didn't really write like
Yeah.
10 songs. We wrote like 30 songs.
Right.
That record,
That's
you
what
know.
they normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had so many songs that didn't make it to the album. So
Yeah.
Right.
which
Yeah.
were great songs. I mean,
It took a lot.
So what would you say about it? Over a year?
I would say about a year.
yeah, about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, about a year.
All right, this question's for Mikey V. How and why did you decide to get endorsed by Kurt Wilson Guitars?
Because they're amazing instruments.
And where's that out of?
Based here in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Okay.
And I mean, it's about absolutely as custom as you can get on a guitar. I mean, you're holding the neck of the instrument and, you know, marking where you need adjustments done, built to your hand. It's very spoiling. I can't play any other guitar after that. I mean, it's
So you were hands-on as far
very
as kind
hands-on,
of.
beginning to end.
How many of those do you own?
I have now 3, and then I'm working on a 4th one right now.
Okay.
I just got a killer 7-string Les Paul Jr., which is money. Black Karina, just pure metal.
Okay.
It's awesome.
He usually breaks one at least at every show.
Yeah.
So he keeps Kurt real busy.
Like Spinal Tap?
I can't tell you how pissed Kurt was after he broke the custom triple
Really?
that he made for him.
Really?
Yeah, it goes through war with me.
Okay.
I'll chew up the guitar.
He won too many Jamesons before that show.
Okay, I know that Franco lives in Canada.
Yeah.
How does that affect the writing process? And you know, just kind of walk me through as far as, I know we touched base on it earlier, as far as just like coming up with ideas and, you know, using the internet to kind of shoot them back and forth to each other.
This time around, we have completely taken a different approach. Normally, you'll go in, you'll write songs and rehearse them and get the arrangements down, do 1 million pre-productions of a song and listen to it. And then go in the studio and try to capture it. And there's those times where you're dealing with a pre-production where you're cruising in your car and you're like, man, there's a vibe about this happening. Now you go in the studio and perform it, but sometimes it's just not the same. And you know, artists like U2 and Aerosmith, which just unbelievable songwriters, and hearing their stories, they talked about just letting tape roll. Because there's those moments where you just don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you're taking a break and then we're just like, oh, fuck it, let's just go in there and just jam.
Okay.
And then there it is. Now we have the capability of actually capturing everything we're doing. You know, 20 hours of writing and not going in with an approach of what we're gonna write about. We have no clue. As soon as the instruments are on, everything is powered up and ready to rip, something comes out and we just roll with it.
And you keep that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been great.
What about like rehearsals with Franco? I mean, is that just strictly before gigs and, you know, he flies in and before touring?
There is a lot that goes on with our rehearsals. I mean, we do backing vocals and we will rehearse as a group and tighten up on our parts. So when he comes on in, he's not waiting for us to break and figure out where the kinks are at and work on them. So when he comes on in, he looks like you want to add something.
All the guys are very serious about what we do, and although we're fun-natured and have a great time while we do it, we take it very seriously, and everybody knows their parts like the back of their hands. They practice on their own, we practice together, we practice with Franco, we practice without him.
Right.
But when it comes down to hitting the stage or the rehearsals that we have coming up to a show, it's pretty much like clockwork. You know, we plug in and things are nailed.
Okay.
You know, anything that needs to be worked on are like the very corner rough edges, you know, that would only be even noticed by us, and that's you know, stuff that's only, you know, okay, how are we going to connect this song to the next song, or hey, should we vamp this part out a little bit longer? That's what our rehearsals are like. It's not like, oh man, you keep screwing this part up over here. When are you going to get it right? You know?
So you guys are very well prepared.
Yeah, it's great. It's
But
great
we rehearse a lot.
These guys.
You know, what are we
5
ready
days
for?
a week.
How much do you come in to Chicago?
Well, it all depends. Right now, we're working on the second album. The first album, when I was here
Every
quite
2
often.
weeks?
Yeah,
I
a
was
month
here
at a time.
Now, do
months at a
you
time.
drive or do you fly?
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've driven here about, what, I don't know, 10, 12 times.
Okay.
Solo.
14 hours all by myself.
That's a 14-hour
Me and,
drive.
That's a lot of
every record, me and every record from Seven Dust, and
Right.
Timing your trip on albums.
and a bunch of Cheetos, a bunch of Cheetos and coffee.
Okay. Historically, siblings don't always work out in music. Describe your relationship in the band and outside the band
I'll
with
let Andy.
Mikey and Andy.
I'll let Andy talk on this one.
And how long have you guys actually been playing together? I mean,
if you don't have something nice to say.
It's alright, it's Andy.
What, 22 years together? Yeah, I think
It's been that long already?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And they're 23 years old.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah,
so,
I'm 24.
so since they were 1.
So he popped out of the womb.
Well, yeah,
the drumstick
he
in my
popped
hand.
out with the snare drum, and I popped out with the guitar.
No, but Andy, describe your relationship. I mean, you know.
When it comes to the music stuff, any sort of writing, rehearsing,
I think
it's
he wants to
strictly
know
that.
how often we fight.
Every other weekend. No, when it comes to that stuff, we completely separate it out. We go in there with a mindset and focus, and it's just music. We're writing, we're enjoying it, and
Right.
that's it. We don't bring anything outside.
Right,
it.
okay.
We're always on the same page. Maybe it's that, like, you know, the whole twin thing, you know, oh, you guys can cycle.
No, you
like,
guys are.
musically,
What
we
kind of
got
twins
that.
are you?
We're fraternal twins.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
They're human.
We are. We're
All right.
government clones gone bad.
Do you guys have any gigs coming up, or are you just strictly
no,
focusing on the second album?
Yeah, we're gonna focus on the second album.
Do you have anything tentatively titled for the second album?
We're not.
No, we're throwing around ideas.
Okay.
No information.
Nothing yet.
Okay.
It's got to be vulgar though, for sure.
Vulgar. Okay.
Has to be.
Something like that. All right.
Maybe.
Will you tour to support your latest release?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Would it be something along the lines of Snake Eyes, where you're gonna do like a whole month, or is it gonna be
hopefully
weeks
it's
at
gonna
a
be
time?
longer. Hopefully it's gonna be longer.
Okay, that's always good.
We'd like to go out and
Quality shows. and-
tour it for real,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all over. Tour it for a year.
Okay, so I don't know. Obviously, you kind of answered this, but what do you have? A first single that you would like to put out yet, or is this,
man.
or are you guys
No,
still just in the writing
I think
process?
I think we're in the writing process. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
We have quite a few singles that we want to put out, but
Yeah.
we're not ready yet.
At this point, the stuff is so new and fresh to our ears. We've been living with the old stuff for a while right now.
right.
Every song is our favorite song.
We want to put them all out as singles.
Right.
Every song.
We're
has
gonna
that-
rotate markets for each song.
Every
It's
song
also-
has that element that you're like, oh, that's badass, you know what, I love
Right.
it. And then you get to the next song, it's like, oh, that's badass, I
Right,
love
right,
that too.
right.
It's like, well, how you know.
But it's
you
also
choose
a different
one or the
album.
other.
Also,
Yeah.
it's a completely different album.
Different sound wise. I mean,
I
heavier,
think
lighter,
everything is different.
more
Yeah, we did
organic.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did a
all
complete
the way around.
360 on this.
Really?
album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot heavier.
I don't
Definitely
know if
rock.
I'd say complete 360. People that were fans of the old music, or of our last record, rather, I would say they're definitely gonna still hear what
Hear those elements.
hear what
of
they
course,
like
yes,
in
right.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say that the
We're gonna
music
kick
itself
you in the
is deeper and heavier.
Okay.
I would use the word brooding.
Okay.
But the vocals, as far as the harmony element and the strength of the vocal hook is still going to be there. But I'll reveal a little moment of humility and say that I think, at least I speak for myself, on the last record it just seemed like it was more important to try to write stuff that was going to be more commercially affable. And on this record, I think we're just really writing more for ourselves and like, what do I want to hear on this?
Right.
What do I want to play
Right.
on this?
Definitely.
Like that didn't
Yeah,
do
well
me any
said.
favors by trying to do something that I think is going to beat that other people are going to like on the last record. I'm going to write this part to
Definitely
make
like
myself happy.
teeth
Okay.
on bone,
Right.
just peeling skin.
All right. Well, we're done here. This is Beneath Me from Chicago. Why don't you kind of tell your websites and all the information so people can get in touch with you guys
You
and
can
get
visit us on www.beneathme.com, or you can visit youtube.com/beneathme, or link it to the website to Facebook. So they're all linked together. So when you communicate through there, it'll go from one to the other. So either way, you can reach us anyway.
Also, there's a new site the kids are using called Google, and I think that if you type our name in there, you would also.
All right. Well, that's a wrap.
Yeah.